Hey, how's it going, guys? I am recording this after all of the sessions that are going to be in this video. There's going to be 3 sessions total in this video. Each session barely had any hands, so I'm just combining it all. 2 are going to be from stones, and 1's going to be from a home game. So yeah, it's gonna jump back and forth. I'm just putting it in chronological order of how things went. There's some really interesting hands that kind of happen. It's just very few, but I hope you guys like it and let me know what you guys think. All right, but yeah, let's just jump straight into it. In this first hand, I open pocket sixes from middle position over 2 limpers. We go 4 ways to a flop of Jack 10 and you guessed it, a 6. Yes, we flop bottom set on a rainbow board and I don't think there's anything else to do here but bet, so we go 20 into 48. Cutoff calls and now the button bumps it up to 65. Honestly, don't mind raising again, but I choose to just call, bloating the pot to 198, having a little over pot behind. The turn comes the ace of spades. I check and flow, and the button now bets 150. With about 220 behind, I obviously just jam it. He obviously calls, and we obviously win against Jack 10 for the flop 2 pair. This was literally the first hand I played when I sat down, so it's nice to start the session off with a quick double up. But unfortunately, I went card dead the remainder of my time at 1-2 and moved to the 1-3, where I also went card dead except for this one hand. All right, in this single hand that I took at the 1-3, we pick up pocket rockets under the gun and open action up to $12. And we get not 1, not 2, but 5 callers. So we're going 6 ways to a flop of 7-5-4 with 2 clubs. I choose to bet 25 into 72, and it folds to the button who raises it to 70. I call, but proceed with caution since there's already red flags going off in my head, knowing that I could be behind sets, 2 pairs, and whatnot in a single raise pot. But I go from good to great when an ace peels off on the turn. My worries are alleviated, and even better when the button continues for 155 into 212. If I call here, I'm leaving myself with around 320 into a pot of 522. And because of this, I decide to just rip it, and button thinks for a bit before calling. And the river gives me the winner and locks this pot up for me when it comes to the last ace in the deck, giving me quads. I fast roll my hand, obviously, and button looked disgusted, which I assume mean I needed that ace on the turn. We scoop in this $1,100 pot, and unfortunately, we have no more hands for this night. There's a bit of a change of scenery, and we're playing a home game at my buddy Austin's. It's a small stakes game. The true value of the stakes is 25.50 cents. But for the sake of simplicity, it plays like a 5-10. There's an open, then a 3-bet to 100, and I choose to call with 7-3 of clubs, along with a ton of other players, and we see a flop of Jack 10 deuce, all clubs. We flop a flush, we choose to check to the pre-flop aggressor, and he bets 200 into 500. I obviously raise to 700, and middle position calls with the remainder of his stack, flip it over, and we're actually losing to king, queen of clubs. We run out the board, and we're drawing dead. In this next hand at the home game, there's an early position open, a couple calls, and I choose to 3-bet on the button with ace-jack offsuit to 250. Everyone calls, and we're going 4 ways to a flop of a bunch of low cards. I honestly don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like 9-7 deuce rainbow. It checks to me, and I c-bet for 300 into 1,000, and only Aaron in middle position calls. The turn comes a brick, and he checks, and I check it back. The river comes another brick, and before acting, Aaron claims that he has an overpair and then checks, and I just choose to check back, hoping I have some showdown value, and we win against, I don't know, something. All right, for the last hand I recorded at the home game, I open 8-3 of hearts in middle position to 75 over a $20 straddle. Yes, 8-3 of hearts. It's super loose, but I give a ton of action at the home games. I'm here to play with my buddies, so yeah, we're opening this up. We're going 6 ways to a flop of 9-5 deuce with 1 heart. We have nothing except a backdoor flush and straight draw. And big blind decides to lead out for 100 into 450. Ethan calls in middle position, and I like to call since I'm really deep with both of them, around 2.5 grand. And the turn comes the perfect card. It's the 6 of hearts, giving me a backdoor flush and a gut shot. Big blind continues for 200. Ethan calls, and I think it could go either way. I could probably raise here, but I choose a more passive route, especially being in position, and I call. The river improves us, but not in the way we hoped. It's an offsuit 8, giving us second pair. Big blind now checks, Ethan checks, and although we picked up showdown value, I don't think I'm ever good against two players with just second pair. With the way that this hand was played, I don't think anyone has anything better than top pair with a middling kicker, and because they're both capped, I choose to turn second pair into a bluff, and I bet out for 800 into 1350. I think this is far too small, and if I want to generate folds for the range that I assigned them, I need to go closer to 1100. However, it gets the job done as both big blind and middle position fold, with big blind claiming he had queen 9 and Ethan claiming jack 9. Our read was spot on, and although our sizing was a mistake, we get the bluff through with the worst of it. All right, so I last minute decided to come to stones. It is 12 o'clock. I should just be getting lunch, but I had a couple hours, decided to kill some time. So I'm gonna play some 1-2. That's about it. So I'll see you guys in there. All right, in the first notable hand of this session, we peel pocket 9s in middle position and open to 12 over a $4 button straddle. The cutoff calls and button 3-bet jams for $73. I rejam for 300 to get a heads up, cutoff folds, and villain shows pocket 4s. We're in really good shape, and we hold on this board and scoop in this pot. If there's a hand I can take back, it's going to be this one. Here we peel ace-jack offsuit in middle position, and when under the gun opens to $6, we just call. This is the first mistake. We should definitely be 3-betting here, but because we just call, we're going 6 ways to a flop of ace-6-3 with 2 diamonds. It checks to me, and I think there's a standard bet here, so I bet 15 into 35, and both the cutoff and big blind call. The turn is an offsuit 4, and I continue for 35, trying to charge flush draws, and only big blind calls. The river is the 7 of diamonds, bringing in the front door flush, and big blind now dongs for 50 into $135. I just know he's never bluffing here, but I convinced myself he could be block betting with a worse ace, which he just never is, and I begrudgingly call. I obviously lose, and villain shows ace-4 offsuit. I think that this river call is just a huge blunder because there's so many value hands he could be betting here, and I think the hands that he block bets with are value hands that still beat mine, like 2 pairs. So at this point, my hand is just a bluff catcher, and in a hand where he has such little bluffs, this is a clear fold. But next hand. All right, in this hand, I am put into the blender. I open pocket 10s and the cutoff to $12 over a few limpers, and the button decides to 3-bet to 48. He's an aggressive, younger thinking player, and his 3-betting range isn't nearly as linear as the average 1-2 player, so it's a standard call. The flop comes 5-4-3 with 2 spades, and after I check, he quickly checks it back. The turn comes in offsuit 6, and when I check again, he bets, but only $20 into 102. I elect to raise for both protection and value from potential flush draws and overcards, and I settle on a sizing of $80. But now, villain does the strangest thing and decides to just 3-bet jam all in, covering me for $220 effective. I tank, trying to figure out what value hands he could possibly arrive here with, and nothing made sense. An overpair would have likely just c-bet on the flop, and if not, they'd have gone larger on the turn. A turn set of 6s or a turn straight like pocket 7s would have gone larger on the turn as well, which led me to believe that he was weighted towards either 1, a flush draw, or 2, straight air. So in the end, I flicked in the call, and after the river peels in offsuit 9, he mucks and we win this $540 pot. This was a really tricky spot, and against the average 1-2 player, I'm just folding on the turn, but I knew this player was capable and would go for it whenever he had a read. So it was a really nice play by him, but unfortunately, I'm a fish. In this hand, we open ace-king offsuit to $10, middle position, and the under the gun limper call. The flop comes ace-jack 7-2 clubs, and with top-top, I continue to bet for 15. Only middle position calls, and the turn comes the 4 of clubs, bringing in the front door flush. I slow down and check, and middle position bets 35. It's a bit too tight to fold, so I call, planning to evaluate on the river, And when the river peels the deuce of clubs, I am done evaluating and have nothing else to do but check. And when middle position checks back, we lose to 6-5 of clubs. Pretty straightforward hand. Don't think I could fold on the turn just yet, but yeah, nice hand. All right, just got finished with this session. We're in for 300, out for 440 flat. Only played like 2 hours, but yeah, I wasn't ever really down. I was up to like around 520-ish and then lost a good chunk back to even, and then made a little bit back at the end. So it was pretty uneventful. There was just one hand that I was a little bit frustrated with how I played it. I had no business being in it, and I should have just made the tight but correct fold. So yeah, besides that hand, I'm a little bit, indifferent about the session. Yeah, but I'm about to go get some food. I might show you guys the food because Chick-fil-A is freaking good. All right, later. I also want to record this little outro just as a closing note, just going over these past few sessions. I haven't really been playing too much poker. 2026 has been really low volume wise for me. Sessions last less than like 3 hours. I've only played like maybe 5 or 6 sessions for February, 8 sessions in January, just super low volume. Hopefully I'll get back into the swing of things around April. And yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think, and I will hopefully see you guys at the tables. All right, peace.